Hey guys, can anybody hear me? Are you hearing me through my microphone? Hello, hello, testing one, two, three. Oh, sweet. Okay. Julia Rose and Miss Cheryl, it is so good to see you guys. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate your support so much. I really just kind of did this, as you know, my February goal because I wanted to see if I could do hard and scary things. So, thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate you. So, today, I'm sorry, I keep hitting my table as my camera on it. Um, so, what I was going to talk about tonight, just real briefly, is going to be what I've learned so far in my weight loss. In 2021, I started my weight loss journey at 315 pounds. Whew, it was a lot. um, it was mostly hard because I had gotten to the place to where things that are normally, usually easy, like you don't think about it, like tying your shoes or walking upstairs, those kind of things were super, super painful and exhausting. So I was like, whew, I really need to do something about this. So that's when I started trying to find ways to decrease my weight. So I had gone from 315 all the way down to 205, which is less than I am now. And then we had some more trauma happened, and I just reverted right back to my coping skills. So, of eating and binging. So, of course, I gained all the way back up to 275. And again, things started getting hard, and that's when I knew I had to do something. So, I started on this journey. I knew that I needed accountability, which I don't really have here. As far as we don't have support groups for binge eaters and for eating disorder people. So I really, that's my very first thing that I learned that I had to do was, hey, Tiffany. It's so good to see all you guys here. Thank you so much for your support. Um, so at 275, I learned my very first lesson in getting healthy, and that's you have to reach out. I've tried on my own for so long and keep falling and getting up and falling and getting up and trying a billion new things. I knew that I had to finally accept this is something that is going to need the backing and support of professionals. So the first thing I've learned is reaching out to people who know what they're doing in getting healthier. So my doctor was one. And that's where I found out I am pre-diabetic. So that pushed my butt even more to get going. And then so I'm following up with her every 6 months, check my lab works and make sure we're doing okay. And then also, I reached out to a therapist. Now, I live in a small town in Louisiana, and when I Googled for my insurance, where I could go close that would have someone who actually was a specialist with eating disorders, we had one specialist in a 60-mile radius. So I was so grateful she had an opening and was able to take me. And she has really taught me a tremendous amount about myself. And I think that's one thing I love about therapists is that they're able to see things from the outside. They're unbiased. They can figure out some of the things that you just struggle to do. So that is my number one lesson that I've learned on this journey. Um, and so, ooh, this is so nerve wracking. I can't, I can't edit it. um, so the second thing that I learned, and I think this was the hardest lesson thus far, is being patient. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you could type me up some little info, but I have a really hard time being patient. And hey, Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany says, I can understand completely getting wake up calls like that. It's scary. It really, really is scary. And being in the medical field, I know what diabetes does to people. So it really is a scary thought that I could move to that. So that did knock me in my booty. And Miss Cheryl says it's important to get the tools to help us in life. Proud of you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing is that, it is a tool. And just like getting bariatric surgery or, any of these really dramatic things that we do to try to save our lives, for example, the Mounjaro, that's supposed to be an appetite suppressant. The key is that it is a tool, and we have to use all these tools in order to move forward. If we just use one, like I was doing, just exercise and diet, I wasn't fixing my mind. And so I had some of the tools, but not all the tools I needed. So I think I'm getting closer to that magical like Dora the Explorer, backpack. I think I'm getting my backpack finally filled up with the tools I need to do those things. So the second thing, what I was going to tell you guys, is patience. I have always, oh, hey, Karen, at home with Karen. Love it. It's so good to see you, sweetie. Thank you so much for jumping on. I had to learn patience in the manner that being ADHD, it's all or nothing all at once. I want it now. I want to fix the problem now. I don't have time to wait. We need to get her done. And so I have learned this time in this journey that I have to go one day at a time, and certain days I have to do one decision at a time, realizing that I'm not going to see the instant result of that step. It's going to take me time. And there are weeks when I will gain and there are weeks when I will lose and everything in between. But if I can be patient, big breath, and just trust the process, I think that's going to be super key, and has been this time for sure. Tiffany says, some families say therapy is taboo. Did you experience any of that? Like any hesitation about starting that to discuss weight loss? Oh, yeah. Here in the South, it's very taboo. When I lived in Boston and then in Dallas, which is still South, but more North South, almost everybody had a therapist. And in my head, because of how I grew up, I was like, oh, y'all some crazy people, because in the South, only crazy people go to a psychotherapist. And it's very, it is taboo. And so I had to break that wall up. I had to say, look, I am in such dire straits at this point that I'm going to just need to go. And so I'm glad I pushed myself. But Tiffany, absolutely, here in the South, it's definitely taboo. Oh, hey guys, Dan and Sammy. RV there yet? I just love the name of y'all's channel. That cracks me up every time. It's so nice of you guys to come in. Thank you so much. And then Miss Jenny Inspire. Hey girl. So you feel me. That's so true, she says. And I love Tiffany saying hi to everybody. Oh, hey, Helen. Helen is way to go. She's fantastic. It's so great that you're here. Thank you. And that you guys are saying hi to each other. It's so cute. So Tiffany says, yes, literally same here. So it's so interesting to see that you've been in therapy. I imagine it's life-changing in due time. You know what? I was really blessed because the only eating disorder therapist in my area, I felt like we were kind of kindred spirits, like they say on Anna Green Gables. But she was very calm. We talked about ways to find the distorted thinking and how to reverse those thoughts. So yeah, it really is helping me. And if you feel like you're at that point where you need help, and I think we really, all of us could go to a therapist because it's just nice talking to people. I love talking to my besties. I love getting to talk to you guys about things too, but there's just something about somebody who is completely unbiased in the situation who can see it from all angles. It's been really magical for me. And I'm lucky that I had such a good rapport with the first therapist I tried. I know I've had friends who have had to try 2 or 3 before they found, their big support. So let's see. Hey, my pal Misty, I love it. um, I don't know how you do this every week, girl. Like my heart's like this right now. So big props to you. And I love watching your show. You have so much information. I love the live you just did about community. That's actually one of my points tonight is community. So thank you. Healthy Tiffany says disordered thinking is a really, really hard one to conquer. So thank you for that insight. And everybody's saying hello. I love it. So therapy, once I pushed through the barrier of being embarrassed that I needed therapy in the South, I've learned a tremendous amount of things and continue to. And thank you, Helen. And Karen. Thank you, Karen. You're doing fantastic with your first live. Go, girl. Go, girl. Y'all check out Karen's page if you don't already. She is so awesome. I love her grit and I love the way that she describes her journey. It's really, really, really cool. So therapy. I didn't know about this, but when I was looking for a therapist and didn't have one, I did go online and found the binge eating therapist. She's a phenomenal psychotherapist from England, and she is a binge eater herself. She's a recovering binge eater. And so it's really neat to have somebody too who's actually been through it. It's funny, some of her videos, I feel like she's talking, but my words are coming out of her mouth because it's the exact experience. And I've learned so much from her. And what's cool about Sarah is because I'm guessing because of insurance stuff, she doesn't take on clients from the United States, but she does offer you the chance to be in her monthly binge eating therapy support group. It's like a Zoom that we do. And I can't tell you how, even being online, because I know sometimes that feels super impersonal, but for me, it was so personal because, again, these people are basically describing what I'm feeling. So any kind of support group, you guys, I would go for it. If you have it, there's no reason not to go and give it a try and find some people who are on a journey like yours, like mine. You guys are my community. You guys have helped me so much in this journey just in 4 months. I feel like we're all family. So Karen says, my grits. Haha, I don't know what grits are, but I love that I have some. Oh, I was talking about grit. Like, you are hardcore, and even when you have bad days, you're able to get back up. And I love how you're very, very self-aware. Like, when there are days when you're just exhausted, you're able to see that and you're able to give your body what it needs. It's really, really neat to see. And so, yeah, Misty says community makes everything better. Cheryl says community is everything. And Julia Rose says 100% agree. So helpful to find people who are on the same journey. Julia Rose you guys have to go to her channel too, because she has taught me so much about the mental part of all of this. How we tend to worry about what people think about us and the negative talk that we have for ourselves. And then I love how she does her own like morning ritual and night ritual. I'm still working on that. But it's really beautiful because you can see that she is learning and has learned how to care for herself in those beautiful ways. And I just love when her videos pop up because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna learn something today. So thank you, Julia, for that. But yeah, Cheryl and Misty, it's really community. I wish that this live had the option to have all you guys in it, because I feel like it would be like one of those wellness seminars, that people pay hundreds of dollars into, because you guys just have so much knowledge and have helped me so much. So let's see. Oh, Misty says, I have a Discord for chat. It's nice for sure. That is really cool. I didn't know what Discord was until my son told me about it, my teenager, but it sounds like a really nice way to be able to do that. Helen says, I don't know what I would do without you all. Oh, we love you too. And then Arby there yet says, support, not just for tatas, right? Being silly. Of course, we need each other. You know what? I totally get why there are women groups and why there are men groups. But I honestly feel, and I've said this before, I think in one of my last videos, that we're all of the human race and we all struggle. There's a lot of things that my husband and I can relate to each other because we both struggle with eating and staying healthy. So absolutely, I agree that this whole community thing is not just for the tatas, okay? It's for all the body types, sizes, ages. And so I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. So let's see. Karen says, you ladies are all right. Sharing this journey with others, making it easier and a bit fun. Yes. Tiffany says she needs a Discord of people. I have to even figure out how I set up Discord. I'm guessing you just go in and maybe your friends send you a link to theirs. I'm not sure. And so Helen is down with what RV there yet saying. Hey, can I call you by your name? Is this Dan or Sammy? I just like saying people's names when I'm talking to you. Oh, thank you, Julia Rose. I can't imagine what you learned from me, but I'm glad to hear that I'm helpful. And then Tiffany says, you're absolutely right in that. At the end of the day, we're all sharing a common struggle. Gosh, that's so true. That is so true, girl. And it's true. As women, we can say, oh, our hormones this, our hormones that. Well, what I'm learning as I get older, guess what? Men have struggles with the hormones too, especially testosterone. So we can all learn from each other. Oh, Misty, you're going to box. You are so cool. I love boxing. It's such a stress reliever. Thank you so much for your support, sweetie. I appreciate you. Love, love, love. So getting back to the things I've learned, let's see. I made myself some notes. Oh, my next point was community. So we just talked about that. Good job, guys. Thanks for doing it for me. Oh, yeah, the accountability. Accountability is huge for me. And for me, it's not that I thought YouTube would help me with accountability, such as, oh, I'm never going to gain weight, or I'm going to go, my weight loss is going to be a straight, perfect path because I have YouTube. It's not that. It's that I know that each week I am going to be explaining how I feel, how the week went, what my struggles were, and how I'm doing, how I'm progressing. If I didn't have to share that with anybody, I think, and if I didn't have to share the receipts, the pictures and whatnot, then I'm afraid that I would go back to my old habits because I don't have to check in with anybody, and so that's really, really helping me. And I think, that is one thing in addiction. I know that I've heard people say over and over that in addiction, it's good to be able to check in, because the nice thing is, especially being the YouTube group, we all struggle with some of the same things. And so it's nice knowing that I'm going into the sharing in, well, like my therapist said, this is a safe place. This is a safe place where we can come and we can talk about things. And even with the possibility of haters coming on, it's worth even one other person talking with me or sharing things with me to move forward. Even if I have to find that needle in the haystack to me, it's worth it. And it has been so far. You guys have helped me tremendously. Yeah, so Tiffany says, so by that, do you mean being held accountable helps you? Yes, it does. Because it's easy for me. One of the things, I don't know if you guys have struggled with this, but I kind of have recessed inside of myself a lot of times to where it's like one day I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm like, well, damn, where is that 50 to 100 pounds come from? It's like I have an ability, even if my clothes aren't fitting me, I can ignore and deny that it's going on. So to have progress pictures and weigh-ins and measurements every week, and knowing that I have made a commitment to you guys to share that, then I mean, I guess you could Photoshop a photo, but I don't know how to do that. I can't even get my dog that photobombed me out of my photos. So to me, it's just a way to be, I guess, accountable. It's the only word that comes to mind, but where I know that I have to tell the truth and I need to put the truth forward. And it's really, really helping me so far. So I don't know if that answered your question. But anyway, those are the 4 things that I have learned so far on this weight loss journey. Now, over 80 pounds from 315. So patience for the journey. I have learned reaching out for help is super important. I've learned community is key. And I've learned accountability is important for me. So do you guys have anything that have helped you on your journey that you'd like to share? You know, I'm always down for some more info and help. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. You're so sweet. You guys inspire me too. In fact, Tiffany, you're the one that inspired me to do a live because I got to catch yours when you went live for the first time, and it was really, really fun. One of the things that also you guys have inspired me on is y'all are still going strong into the new year. I love that because usually by March, you know, the whole New Year resolutions or goals or whatever have fizzled out. And so I love that y'all are still like doing different challenges. Like I'm part of the Derek's Journey challenge. We just did a weigh-in challenge. Now we're doing a walking challenge. And then Regina started on the 75 hard. So thankfully I'm able to fuse those together. And it's really neat because it's just a push, you know, and we don't have to be 100% perfect at any time. And sometimes we're not going to be able to complete the challenge totally, but I love that most of you guys talk about, well, this was my goal for the week. Like as Helen will do that. She'll say, okay, these are my goals for the week. And I may not have been able to complete this completely here, but I'm still pushing forward. And I love how you use that kind of thought process to say, look, just because I'm not perfect doesn't mean I'm not going somewhere. And it reminds me, Helen, when you say those things, progress over perfection. And I love that because it reminds me I don't have to be perfect when most of the time my brain's telling me you do. So that's helpful. And then At Home with Karen says, sharing this journey with others has helped me the most. I'm a very private person, so sharing is hard. Well, you do a phenomenal job. I would never know that you're that much of a private person because you're so personable. And I feel like we're literally sitting there talking on your videos. Healthy Tiffany says 75 hard is absolutely no joke. You're built different, LOL. You know what? I think part of it is that I like checklists. So having ADHD, I've had to learn that I'm going to forget a billion different things. So I have on my phone my notes app, and anytime somebody's, I schedule something or we need to do something, or my husband says, "Oh, by the way, we got to do this," I pull it out real quick and write it down, because if not, I'm not going to remember. Well, 75 Hard has an app. And so each day you have to check off that you've done the things on your list. So that helps me because, again, with my memory not being the greatest, it makes it easier for me to feel accomplished and to know that I've done it. And then Helen says, one thing that helped me, which may sound strange, but it was learning to stand up for myself, saying no to food pushers. I had to learn to be my own best advocate. Wow, that's deep, Helen, because you know what? I don't know that I would have that strength. I guess I'm blessed. I don't have the enablers, you know. I work in a very, very small office. We're all trying to lose weight and be healthy. And then I come home and my husband and I are trying to be healthy. And then when we go see our parents, they're so sweet. My in-laws and my parents, they will have like a fruit tray for us or veggies or something. So that's got to be hard, but I am so proud of you for standing up for yourself, because I don't know if all of us are like that, but I feel like most of the people I know who struggle with their weight, we do have a hard time not people pleasing. I mean, I just don't want people to be upset or sad. I don't like conflict. I don't want to hurt your feelings. And if I do hurt your feelings, please let me know. And here in the South, all of you who are Southerners here in the South Louisiana, especially, you don't tell mama no. Okay, when she offers you cake. Or when she offers you a second plate of jambalaya, you just don't do that. I've heard some Italians say that about their family. Is that Italian mamas like to feed? That's how we love. It's kind of the same in the South. So you are the bomb for being able to do that. I'm so impressed, Ellen. Okay, and then Healthy Tiffany, she says, Helen, that's so important. That actually something I'm still working on. Family members are the worst ones that do this. So, oh, God bless you, Tiffany. That is fantastic. You know what? Maybe one of you guys could do a short video. Look at me putting stuff on your plate. But if you felt like doing that, that would be really cool to hear what the thought process is, what your experiences have been, and how you've conquered that. Because I know, like I said, especially here in the South, that happens. Oh, and so Julia says, at home with you. So she's talking to Karen. She says, I'm the same way. I'm a very private person as well, but I've also found that sharing has helped. Oh, that's so fantastic. And Helen says, making lists and keeping a food journal helps also. Girl, I love when you pull out your journal. I'm so impressed. You got all your different colors and you got everything checked off. And it's so neat to see that you've made that commitment to yourself to track, take that data and do stuff with it. I think that's great. Oh, and then Helen and Tiffany are talking. So that's beautiful. Not Cheryl, total people pleaser. I tell you what, I don't know where that comes from, but golly, my parents, they may have spanked me a couple times. That's another thing here in the South that people do. But if my dad or mom just told me they were disappointed, that's all it took. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So Karen says, Karen and Helen both said that they grew up having to finish their plate before moving from the table. And you know what? I didn't even think about that. That is so true. I didn't think about that as being enabling, but yeah, my parents did that too. Um, huh. Like even if I go to a restaurant, I feel bad when I put part of my food in a tray to go. So wow, that is deep. Somebody needs to do a video on that. Oh, and Karen, that's how you grew up too. Wow. It's really neat to me also because I don't know if you know this, but we're from all over the world in here. And so it is interesting when we have some of the similar things that we grow up, the programming that we have. It's fascinating. Hey, Jess, what's up, girl? This beautiful woman that's been showing me all these fabulous workout clothes on her channel. I love it. Um, and Tiffany, that's sweet of you to say to Helen. And Cheryl, oh, yes. Okay. So we couldn't leave the table till our plate is clean. I think a lot of that may have to do with people have told me that, since the Depression, um, when people had to scrounge and really save every little thing, every little potato, carrot, so they would have something to eat. I don't know if that's the mindset that comes from, but it would be interesting to see. And then Tiffany says, and same, imagine going to a family function and telling them you don't want to eat what they cooked because you're losing weight. Girl, okay. I went with my best friend to her family reunion once, and they are Creole. They cook amazingly. Girl, you better not tell Big Mama you're not trying her fried chicken, okay? Because she gonna spank your butt like you're one of the family. So I feel you, Tiffany. That makes sense. I get that. And I guess I didn't see it, but in my childhood, I had more of those than I do now. Okay. Oh, Tiffany says suddenly you're the villain. Yeah, you don't say no to Big Mama and her fried chicken. Let's see. Oh, so Helen says, I think that may be where my problem started. Yeah, most of it's programming, and we don't even realize it. From the time we're young, we're teaching our brain what it is that we have to do to survive or be supported or be loved. And so I get that for sure. And Jess says, yes, that was for sure a thing when many of us were kids. What's up, Slim Jim? Yeah, Jess, I'm sorry you had to go through that too. I don't think necessarily our people are wanting bad for us, but there's just something, I guess, that they aren't able to figure out in their own process of how they think about foods, or if they feel hurt if we don't eat their food. Slim Jim, you the man, because this guy, it posts every day. I love it. And you talk to some really phenomenal people about different things in life and how to be strong. And it's like listening to a sermon. I just love it. It's so good to see you. So Karen says, another thing, eat all your dinner, then you can have dessert. Girl, you so lucky. You had dessert. Oh my goodness. And look, if my parents had told me that, you best believe I would be eating every Brussels sprout and every green bean because I was going to have that dessert. My mom is a nurse, as I said in my videos before. And so we only had dessert for holidays. That was the only time, birthdays, things like that. So that's crazy that they told you that. But I guess a parent feels maybe that if you eat the healthy things on your plate, then you're allowed to have the unhealthy, kind of like a balancing act. I'm not sure. And then Tiffany says, that's a crazy thing because it just gets instilled in you forever. Definitely led me to overeating on several occasions. Yeah, absolutely, girl. Helen said I did talk a little about it on a past video on overcoming obstacles. Okay, you know what that means? I'm gonna have to binge watch your videos until I find that one. Jess said, yes, my parents both grew up super poor and brought that into adulthood, even though they were doing fine by the time I was a kid. I can't imagine what that's like. We grew up in the country, so we had a little garden and we had our food. I didn't have to, work hard to find it. And so, I love that your parents were watching out for you and looking out for you, though. I know they probably didn't want you to go through what they went through. Oh, you so sweet, Slim Jim. Looking great. Thank you. Healthy Tiffany. You so funny. I'm glad I could crack you up, girl. And then Helen, also holidays only. It's probably a good thing for me. I may have ended up a lot heavier sooner. So, okay. So Julia Rose says it's late over here in Europe, midnight. Oh, so I'm going to go now, but I'll watch on catch up. This has been so fun. Never joined a live before, and you're doing a fantastic job. Woo. Thank you, girl. I'm finishing up anyway. So you get some good sleep. Okay, sweetie. And I'm excited to see your next video. Love you. And thank you for your support. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here for about 30 minutes, see what it was all about. And, I feel like I just had a little session with my friends. Y'all are so awesome. I appreciate you for sharing what you're experiencing in your life. And I'm hoping that YouTube, and I know, so I'm using StreamYard, the free version, but I did, watching the YouTube tutorials on StreamYard, I did find that if you pay for it, I think you can have several different people on your live stream, which had Misty had several people on her stream yesterday. So I think if we're able to do that, I would love to do that more so we can all just kind of do a fireside chat. Oh, thank you guys. I love you. Blessings to you too, Slim Jim. I love you guys. And thank you for your support. I can't tell you how much that means that y'all would support little old me on my live. Oh, health. Okay. So I will definitely look up Tiffany Zoom to see how I can do that too. I didn't think about that. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Karen and Helen and Tiffany and Cheryl and Julia and Jess and Slim Jim and everybody. I love you guys so much for listening in. I hope you have a beautiful night tonight. You get some good rest and you have a lovely day tomorrow. Bye, guys. Love you. Love you too, Helen.